that because the seats have to be allocated to political parties and not to the independents, therefore the independents must necessarily be excluded.
What is the purpose of list at the time of filing list of the political parties for the reserve candidate? How do you know कि ये situation होनी है तो मैं 10 की जगह 40 नाम दे दूँ list में पहले से?
My lord, the rules and the act, it provides for and it gives this latitude to the political parties to give as many names as they may wish to. They can give all 60 names from each province, 32 and whatever the number may be. वो सारे वो नाम दे सकते हैं. अगर वो लिस्ट एग्जॉस्ट होती है तो फिर एडिशन
तो ठीक है, वो तो प्रोविजन है उसमें एग्जॉस्ट के बाद.
जी.
तो लॉ में इस तरह की कोई प्रोविजन नहीं.
ये लॉ के अंदर की सेक्शन 104 की बात कर रहा हूँ.
No situation to deal with such situation. There is no remedy provided how to deal such situation under the law.
My lord,
in the Constitution it is not provided.
Now this situation has arisen, and in this parliament there are about 32 or 33%.
This is one of the creative and progressive interpretation at one end.
My lord, that might be so. There are about 33% members who, according to the order of the Election Commission, were declared as independents. I have shown you the example of Balochistan Assembly where not as much, but more than 20% were independents. The question before your lordships in order to deal with this situation would be whether under 51(6)(d) Sunni Ittehad Council was the party which the independents could have joined. Now, if it was a party, if you come to the conclusion that it is the party which the independents could have joined, then the proviso to sub-rule 2 of Rule 95 would kick in and these independents would not be excluded.
Actually, I was reading the literal text of Article 51D. What is provided in that? Does it cater the need of the time which you have done?
My lord, in this case, the primary question will be a two-step response to this, and that is how the case has also been made out. First is whether this is a party which the independents could have joined for the purposes of paragraph D of clause 6 of Article 51, and then if they could, whether this party then becomes or is entitled to those reserved seats or not. So this is in this order, the questions have to be addressed in my respectful submission. If the court comes to the conclusion that yes, this is a party which they could have joined and therefore their status is no longer that of independence, then proviso to sub-rule 2 of Rule 95 would kick in and they will not be excluded. But if you come to the contrary conclusion to the contrary, then their status will then become that of independence and then they will have to be excluded. I will make, during the course, I will make another submission which might then bring home the point what I'm trying to make.
What your emphasis is that exclusion of the independents with regard to the proviso. It caters both the positions, exclusion and inclusion. Inclusion is also under the proviso. If they join the party within prescribed period,
they get excluded.
And they join such political parties.
Yes. And that's what the proviso also mirrors actually. It gives effect to the proviso to paragraph D.
Exclusion and inclusion both.
My lord, if I may now, my lord,
Attorney General, I think we haven't addressed the basic question, and that is in the context of Article 51D. The edifice of Article 51D is the constitutional right of a political party. Now here, a political party has been excluded by the Election Commission, and that is the question. Now this would be a very grave constitutional violation committed by the Election Commission itself. So as a constitutional highest court, it is not our obligation to correct this very serious, grave constitutional violation, because it goes to the root of democratic principles enshrined in this constitution, and it has virtually disenfranchised all those who voted for that political party.
My lord, I intend to, and my lord has raised this question, had raised this question yesterday. My last submission actually addresses this. when I make submission on Article 187 also.
But can you
before
come
that,
to
I
the
have
examples that you have given of the 2024 elections in your paper book? Because the impact is important to note and understand. So what you've shown on page 23?
No, Ladyship, if I may, this is the record which I had placed before you. For the purposes of the submission which I have made with respect to this record is only one. And when I make the other submissions, this will, my lady's question will then become relevant.
Are you going to go through this record?
I will go through this record because in 2024 also, the independents have been excluded, independents including those who had joined SIC.
But you see here the number of independents are very large, and so you can see the impact that it's having on your proportional representation.
Submission, I want to make a submission on Article 224, which deals with the vacancy of seats, a situation where seats have to remain vacant.
Actually, you see, in the past, the independents are very few, so the question never arose and was not as a non-issue. In any case, also, you took out the independents because you could then divide the entire reserve seats. Nothing remains vacant. That's why the exclusion की mathematics यही है ना, exclude कर देंगे तो पूरा हो जाएगा ना, सारी seats पूरी हो जाएंगी.
Sir,
that's the only benefit, that you exclude the independents, उस घोल में सारे आ जाएंगे. लेकिन the only problem with the current situation is the tip towards independents being more, because nobody bothered challenging this earlier. It was a non-issue. इसलिए impact वाली बात अगर एक optically हम देख लें क्या है.
जी मैं उस पे आना है मैंने. After making this submission, I'll be addressing that question, sir. Now, if my lords and your ladyship may kindly turn to Article 224, I'd read out Clause 4 and then take you through the other provisions. The submission I wish to make, the point I wish to make, my lords and your ladyship, is that the vacancy of seats envisaged for a very limited, narrow window under the Constitution gels in with the scheme provided in the Constitution itself, as also the law which is applicable in this case. Now, if I may kindly read out Clause 4 of Article 224 very quickly. When, except by dissolution of the National Assembly or a Provincial Assembly, a seat in any such assembly has become vacant, not later than 120 days before the term of that assembly is due to expire, an election to fill the seat shall be held within 60 days from the occurrence of the vacancy. Now,
what's relevance?
My lord, my submission is that the Constitution does not envisage vacancy of any seat. A seat must always be filled, particularly in the present circumstances also, where the seats are reserved for women and non-Muslims.
How does that work when a candidate of a reserved seat passes away or something?
Clause 6 kicks in. Clause 6 kicks in. I'll read that out also. When a reserved seat for women or non-Muslims in the National Assembly or a Provincial Assembly falls vacant on account of death, resignation or disqualification of a member, it shall be filled by the next person in order of precedence from the party list of the candidates to be submitted to the Election Commission by the political party whose member has vacated such seat, provided that if at any time the party list is exhausted, the concerned political party may submit a name for any vacancy which may occur thereafter. Now back to Clause 4. Now there is a 120-day window, which is 120 days before the expiry of the term. If a seat falls vacant, Constitution says don't hold elections. And one rationale is provided within this clause itself, which is when read with Election Act, there is a 54-day election program also. So the 66th day is an absolute cutoff. Because after the 66th day, if the seat falls vacant, the elections cannot possibly be held because the 54-day election program cannot be seen through. There is another rationale to it also. If you may kindly turn to Article 222. I'll read out clauses B, C, and F, but the opening part of it also. Subject to the Constitution, Majlis-e-Shura, Parliament may by law provide for B, the delimitation of constituencies by the Election Commission, including delimitation of constituencies of local government. C, the preparation of electoral rolls, the requirements as to residence in a constituency, the determination of objections pertaining to and the commencement of electoral rolls, and F, all other matters necessary for due constitution of the two houses, the provincial assembly and local governments. Now, the Constitution requires Election Commission to carry out these activities for the purposes of conducting elections and due constitution of the two houses. If I may take you to Section 14 of the Election Act.
इसमें क्या बताना था?
इसमें मैं ये बता रहा हूँ कि Election Act का Section 14 आप देखेंगे तो 4 महीने के अंदर, before the expiry of the term of the Assembly, the Election Commission is to complete the delimitation, prepare electoral rolls, and so on and so forth, which is its duty under Clause F or 222 and the other provisions of the Constitution. So Section 14 अगर आप देखें Election Act का, so this timeline actually works with the timeline provided under Clause 4 of Article 224. जहाँ पे 120 days बताया था, तो साथ Election Act में बताया कि 4 महीने expiry term की expiry से पहले ये सारी activity और ये सारा काम करना है Election Commission ने, जो 222 में बताया हुआ है. So when you read them, all of them in harmony, the constitutional command becomes very clear, which is that no seat can be left vacant but for what is provided under Clause 4 of Article 224.